John Monroe here with my son Roland. We're meeting up with some friends and we're heading to Leicester to see what we can learn about making a city that's friendly for walking and cycling. Let's see what we can find out. Okay, we've arrived at the Leicester train station and we're checking out the bike parking, which is pretty good. This huge area. Wow. This is really impressive. What a good start.
Got the gypsy mirrors as well. Hi, gypsy mirror.
That's Lucia.
Hiya.
And here are this is Tim who's guiding us today, and our friends Nancy and Adam. Roland's around here somewhere. So the day begins here. We're getting ready to head out.
I think that's the...
Aha! Is this the world's tallest mural?
It is in Europe anyway.
Wow. Welcome to Leicester. Okay, we're here in the city center, and this is something called the bike park. Neil, you know what this is? What's going on here? What is this bike park?
It's run by the city council. It's free. People come along, they drop their bike off, they get a ticket.
Yeah.
The bike's parked by a member of staff.
Yeah.
When they've come back from work or shopping, come back, hand over the raffle ticket. Someone will go and get their ticket for them, and bike for them, and bring it back.
Oh, that's terrific. I just saw someone also get their skateboard checked, so it's not even all bikes only.
That's a first as well.
Yeah, that's super.
So we've got this and a few other places. I'll show you around. And this too.
Which is where we charge all the bikes because it's fireproof and quite
Whoa.
We've got a fleet of about 50 of these Bromptons. They were actually there's a special edition that Brompton did for the NHS, and they were loaned out for NHS workers to cycle to work during COVID. When that all finished, they gave them to a couple. We've got them on loan, we don't own them. Loan from us. So we use them for cycle training, and people can do a training course, and then at the end of the course, they can borrow a bike for 3 months.
Enjoying the pedestrianized parts of town. Kind of amazing just how extensive the pedestrianized areas are, especially for a relatively small city.
So we're in Jubilee Square, which as you can see on that photo, that before photo, used to be a car park. The city mayor said he was going to turn it into a park, and the local traders said, you will decimate our businesses, we will not get any custom, you can't do this. And there was a huge petition that was set up. We as the cycling campaign group are very supportive of increasing open space, and now it is like the centre for all sorts of stuff. If there's a big event, they put a huge screen up here. There are festivals and things that take place in the square.
So this is where the car park was, right here.
So this whole thing is the car park.
you recognise the building. So
Yeah.
there's Radio Leicester there.
And it's a really valuable space for the city. some ways. The street behind you, John, is supposed to be Leicester's first experience of a shared space, and with you know, pedestrians and cyclists and vehicles respecting one another. For whatever reason, it has become a taxi park, and every time the council tries to do something about it, it goes back to being a taxi park.
Not ideal.
One of the design faults is that the original plan was that people would have to come in off the ring road, where you can see cars going across there. They would have to come in from the shared space from this direction. Whereas in fact what they're doing is they're coming in from directly across, so they are shared space. There is no obvious speed management, environmental control, as it were. So cars are just driving straight through, and as with cars, they assume that they have right of way, even though strictly speaking they don't.
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
stretch.
yeah. So
But it's also
some more work to be done, but
yeah.
obviously a success story overall
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Thank you, Claire.
So we're at the magazine, which is an old archway armament store on the edge of Jubilee University campus, on the outskirts of Leicester City Centre. And directly across from the magazine is Newark Street, which used to be 3 lanes of vehicle traffic, and it's one of the first weeks where a lane was taken out of use by vehicles to put in a bike lane, two-way bike lane, and it caused absolute furore amongst the driving public, and fortunately the city mayor at the time just insisted on driving it through with lots of support from groups like ourselves to get it installed. And people said, oh, it will completely gum up the centre of town, there'll be a gridlock and all that kind of stuff. And there isn't.
I still get things wrong, but this was our part of the university. This was also, we were heading down to where the scrapyards were. So we had scrapyards in the centre of town where they dismantled old railway trains. And then one of them blew up on us. It was a very loud bang. And people looked at each other and said, this is crazy. So it all got redeveloped using City Challenge money.
So this used to be a through road here at the De Montfort campus, and now it's completely pedestrianized. This could be Pritchat's Road at the University of Birmingham, and maybe it will one day.
I'll be there.
Pretty good parks here in Leicester. This little bit of cycle lane here is apparently brand new. So they continue to make improvements. It's right next to a school as well, which is the right spot for something like this. Oh, it looks like the work is continuing. So the improvements they made are not the only improvements they are making. Yeah, more stuff happening here. Nice pump track out here. This new development area. There's lots of new housing here along the canal. Nice big kind of green space out here. But one thing to note in particular is that we have ridden out to this area, which is we're a ways from town now. We've ridden from the city center out here, and we rode all the way here with entirely on cycling infrastructure routes. We crossed a couple of roads, but aside from that, it was car free. So it's pretty good in terms of a network and getting around, which is crucial. It's a really good public art. Skateboarding is active travel. And this is my kind of bike lane because they took away a lane from cars to make it. A lot of new development here. And of course, the narrowing of the road gives more space to multiple modes of movement, but also makes the cars drive more slowly because they have less room. Now we're out at Bike Fest, ways out of the city.
Behind you.
Where there are all these amazing bicycles of all different sorts in this really nice, obviously car-free big track here. Here's my son Roland on a really cool looking machine. Let's get a look at him. Hey dude, how is it? Good. Okay, so we're still out at the Bike Fest track, as you can see. It's just lovely out here. And we've met some local folks here who know quite a bit and have been instrumental in putting in some of the great infrastructure that we've seen. And so I was wondering if I could just ask you to maybe just introduce yourselves briefly, and I just have a question for you. What's your secret? Being here from Birmingham, we're just so impressed with everything that we've seen. And in Birmingham, it feels like getting cycling and walking infrastructure in place is very, very difficult. But here we've seen a city, it's not that different from Birmingham. It's a bit smaller, but you've managed a lot. So how did you do it? Maybe you want to say who you are as well. That would be great.
Who are you going to first? Me?
Sure, we'll go this way.
I'm Andy Solkeld, I'm active travel team leader at Leicester City Council. What is the secret of Leicester? Lots of partnership working. It's not just the City Council's responsibility to make change. So that's been something we've done from the outset. Political leadership, so the City Mayor's team, the City Mayor's vision that he was elected on, very much about making the city people friendly. It's not just about riding a bike, it's not just about walking and wheeling, public transport, it's all of those things combined, but it's also about health and economy and regeneration and social equity and social justice and just changing car dominance to make it a nice place to live.
Sounds pretty good. What would you add? Who are you and what would you add?
Hello, I'm Janet Hudson. I'm a Behaviour Change Project Manager in Andy's team, so in the Active Travel Corridors team. What would I add? I think doing it. So don't just talk about it, but actually go and do it. A lot of the work that we do is outreach work as well, so we don't always expect people, or we don't expect people to come to us. We will do our delivery projects in the neighbourhoods. I think that's really important. Understanding the barriers that I do. I lead on a women's only programme, but understanding the barriers that the people that you're trying to reach face. Don't assume anything. Go and find out.
Excellent.
I'm Tony Lenahan. I'm new in the team, but what I would say is two things really. Firstly, Active Travel in Leicester is embedded across the whole city. All the events and everything that goes on. Active Travel is front and centre of those things rather than just an add-on. And also what Leicester's really good at is signposting and having somewhere for everyone to go. So people who learn to ride have got somewhere to go and do some lead rides. People who do lead rides, we've got loan schemes, they can get bikes, and wheels to work schemes. People have got somewhere to go all the time. They don't just do a course or an event and then they've got nowhere to go. They've got a pathway to go on the course. The circuit here is a really good example. People come here and cycle. They can be signposted to the local Go Ride cycling club. Parents will be cycling here. They can have loan bikes. Everything is joined up and there's a journey for everyone to go on that is a logical conclusion.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's really helpful. Okay, so we're back at the station. We made it. We have finished our tour of Leicester and we have learned a thing or two about how to make a city that is cycling and walking friendly, at least somewhat. What do we think? Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Clara. This has been wonderful.
You're welcome.
All right.